person who's plant-based versus a person who's more carnivore. But it doesn't matter because that carnivore is getting all of this short chain fatty acid, which is protecting the lining of the intestine anyway. So, because I always was intrigued by why is my belly so much happier with the ribeye and the ground beef and things like that. And I think part of the explanation is that you're getting short chain fatty acids, not from fiber and fermentation, but you're getting it from your diet. So if you can get it that way, let's cut out the middleman and just put it in the gut that way. And I think so again, we're still learning, we're still growing. There's not a ton of research that we can lean on in the microbiome space because some of that research is not in the test tube, it's not done on humans. But for me and what I've seen in my research, when I was asking the same question, that's what I kind of came to the logical conclusion is that we get our short chain fatty acids from a different source than the person who's eating fiber. And if I eat fiber, thank God we're virtual, right? Because there will be a problem in that. That's my thoughts on that topic.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too well versed in the sort of the gut brain connection as far as serotonin, the different neurotransmitters and things like that. But I don't know if that's something that Dr. Ede knows more about. But just exactly the same sort of thoughts that both Dr. Ede and Hampton had, which is you're going to see problems in your gut first and foremost. If you're eating the wrong thing, you're going to get upset stomach. You're going to have these sorts of manifestations in your GI system first when you're eating something inappropriate, and then that of course is going to have knock-on effects into the rest of your body. And so if you're eating the wrong thing and that's damaging your gut, that's going to get chemicals into your body that's going to damage the rest of your body. You're not going to be getting specific nutrients that you have to have for your brain and your body. You're going to get harmful chemicals that can get in, either be they man-made or nature-made, that can harm you. I mean, I harp on about the different sort of defense chemicals that plants have, because this is something that should not be ignored. This is something we've known for millennia. We've known about toxins in plants. We killed Socrates with hemlock. We had different sorts of poisons from plants. We knew these things were toxic, and we had different ways of reducing the toxic load in the food that we ate by fermentation, by cooking, by different sorts of processes like nixtamalization for corn. All these different sorts of things that we did, and we've just completely thrown by the wayside because all plants are good, everything's perfect if it's a plant. Of course, that's wrong. And so we need to be aware of that. Plants make about 1 million different defense chemicals, and we need to be aware of that. And they exist in spinach as well as in hemlock. But we've also patented about 1 million different novel chemicals since the 1970s. What the hell do these things do? And what are they going to do to our bodies? So, just eliminating out all these different sorts of random chemicals that may or may not be appropriate for us. You just cut out to basics. Just put in your body what is designed to put in your body. Try to keep everything away as much as you can. And in general, that's going to improve your health and your mental health as well.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing is you change your gut, you can change your life. Absolutely. I appreciate those answers, because that gut health is just, it's been one of the biggest things for me to overcome. It had me in such a low vibration all the time that I feel like I finally conquered that. And just quick question, Dr. Tony, did it ever get you kind of anxiety or depression with your gut health, or is that?
I think it was like I was fortunate. I think I had more anxiety when I had a lot of real estate and things weren't going well. but in terms of like my diet, I didn't. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier. I don't think I realized that I wasn't as in a good mood, or I was struggling mentally, because I thought it was norm. So, but once I started to eat this way, how I interacted with my team was different. How I interacted with my spouse and my kids was different. So I think that it was like a very low level depression that I think we all kind of suffer through, because life can be challenging. And then I'm just like a, beep, beep. I'm like the, bugs. I'm just a completely different guy now. And so I think that's my version of it. And I can't explain how, you just feel like you've been freed somehow. And I know Kerry talks about this a little bit. and you're just able to give the world so much more of you. And I just, it makes you feel so good. And I can be a better husband. I can be a better father. I can be a better, director and leader in my health system, better doctor. And when patients see me, if I'm not that person, they notice immediately because they've become accustomed to this energetic doctor who's delivering and giving all this information, talking about nutrition and all the other things we need to talk about. And I want to continue to deliver that, not only to for their benefit, but for my benefit, so that I can actually continue to do this work and don't feel like it's a burden. And I just love, so I appreciate that question, and I really appreciate that Bears hat. That's really what it's all about.
Well, I suppose now you're feeling better. You can handle a bad season from the Bears. Right? You're not going to get as mad.
Yeah, that's pretty much what to expect, but we're gonna hang in there.
No, I love giving you crap, and I appreciate the whole panel and you guys taking time to hear my story and answer my questions. I really appreciate you guys. And,
before you go, JT, I've got a question for Dr. Ede.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you commented on his hat before that you liked it. Can you comment on the new one?
I'm pleading the fifth here. If I don't see cheese on your head, I'm not talking to you.
I'm a Packer fan. This is my dad's hat. He's from Milwaukee, but he likes to give. Yes, my dad is. He was born and raised in Milwaukee, but he's a Chicago Bears fan because he likes to fight with everybody in the state of Wisconsin. So I told him, I said, let me borrow your hat. I'm going to be having Dr. Tony, getting to talk to him. So I said, I want to give him some crap and have some fun. So. But I appreciate you, Dr. Ede. Nice meeting you. And Dr. Tony, Dr. Chaffee, appreciate you guys. Adam.
Thanks. Thank you, JT. Shout out, JT.
Appreciate
There's
you.
a link in the description below to JT's channel, Poco Moonshine Family. He's doing a lot of good interviews with other carnivores. See you, buddy.
Let's go. See you.
Bye.
Awesome. We have one more guest. Jeff DeProsperous. How's it going, sir?
Yeah.
Very good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Looking good. Sounding good. How you doing?
Awesome. Thanks. I'm doing all right. A little bit of a panic. I had a little bit of technical difficulties, and I had a busy day. But I'm here, and I've listened to this entire event on and off with my technical difficulties the entire time. So I just want to say hi to Dr. Ede. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Likewise.
I haven't ventured into your book yet, but it's on my read list now. So thank you for having me on. I want to say hi to Dr. Hampton and Dr. Chaffee. You're like my two favorite YouTube doctors. So I'm really privileged to be on with you guys. And once again, and Adam and Kerry, you guys are my YouTube best friends. You guys know that. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for coming, Jeff. We're looking forward to hearing your story.
All right.
Definitely.
Is it my turn now?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say hi to my subscribers too, because I was trying to get this stream from my channel, and I don't really care as long as it's being streamed from somebody's channel, right? And it was on everybody's channel because we just got to get the message out. But just apologize, and I was trying to, and I told them in a panic, just tune into Kerry or Adam's channel to catch this, and we're smooth sailing now. So I just want to say hi to my subscribers. I'm going to introduce myself a different way. I know Dr. Anthony Chaffee knows, and Tony Hampton knows I have a new mantra. So I introduce myself a little bit different, Kerry and Adam, but to Dr. Ede. And I'm not going to do it like the way I normally do it, Kerry. I'm going to introduce myself as a human being. My name is Jeff DeProsperous, and I am a father of two sons. Peter and Dante, they're teenagers, 15 and 13. And I have a beautiful wife that I've been married to for 24 years. We've been together for 24 years. We've been married for 17 years. I have a mother. I have a sister. My father just passed away like 4 months ago. I am really tight with family. I love my family. I've been a high school phys ed teacher for 21 years. I am a former varsity soccer player, So I really relate to Dr. Anthony Chaffee because he's a big time athlete, and I always wanted to be a professional athlete. I played university soccer for 2 Canadian universities. In my graduate year as a teacher at one of the universities, we won a national championship, best team in Canada, and I was very privileged to be on that team, and I was rewarded an academic All-Canadian playing on that team. I'm very passionate about, I have a kinesiology degree, 4-year kinesiology and physical education degree. So I'm very passionate about health and fitness and well-being, and I always have been. Like I said, I've been a phys ed teacher for 21 years. And in terms of me venturing onto the carnivore diet, that happened about 22 months ago. I was diagnosed with a disease that many people classify as a genetic mutation, but I've heard you guys talking about metabolic diseases, and that's exactly what I believe my disease is, a metabolic disease. So I've been approaching it that way through the helps of many friends of mine. In particular, a shout out to my very close friend, Dwight Garlow. I call him Medicine Man. He lives very close to me in my hometown. He's a friend. He's a coaching colleague. And through the helps of Kerry, especially Kerry, I've been able to connect to the YouTube world. And I'm very, very blessed to be connected to the YouTube world. And all these doctors that I've been following for the past 22 months while I've been a carnivore, such as Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Kerry introduced me to Tony Hampton, Sean Baker, a whole bunch more, Ken DeBerry, even Dr. Paul Saladino, even though he drives me a little bit nuts when he eats fruit. So I always shout out to him. But Kerry, I'm very blessed to have met him, and even Adam, and they've made me part of their documentary that I think we're all really excited for coming out, Healing Humanity. And yeah, so I've been a carnivore for about 22 months because I have stage 4 colon cancer that has fully metastasized to the liver. The diagnosis was kind of shocking about 24 months ago in April of 2022. I was deemed inoperable, incurable, terminally ill, palliative, given months to live without treatment. With treatment, I think Sean Baker reminds me all the time that if you Google it, it's 9 to 12 months with good treatment. But here I am 22 months later. And in terms of mindset, that plays a huge role in my treatment today, part of my regimen. And I did struggle with a little bit of depression, anxiety, and sleep apnea right before I diagnosed myself. But there's also things here in Southern Ontario, Canada, where I'm from, that have affected me probably for the past 15 to 20 years. Everybody knows of SAD, seasonal affectionate disorder. I've been a victim of that probably for the past 15 years, and it's probably many reasons. I'm not a big fan of winter, but also the lack of vitamin D. I've realized that I do supplement with quite a bit. Even though I am a carnivore, I do supplement because my medicine man, Dwight, says the chemotherapy that I've had 38 rounds of chemotherapy really depletes all my cells of all the special vitamins and minerals that normally partake in a cell. So I'm trying to attack this the metabolic way, where the mitochondria has been disrupted, and I'm trying to fix that mitochondria. So Dr. Ede and Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Hampton, I hope I introduced myself enough. Sorry for talking so much there.
Well, that's an amazing story, man. Every time I hear it, It's just more and more powerful to me. And I really appreciate you making your channel and putting yourself out there for other people to see, because I was literally just talking to someone today, and they were saying that their father-in-law has stage 4 colon cancer, and basically his doctors are saying, there's nothing you can do. Food doesn't matter. Just drink beer, eat chicken wings. It doesn't matter. And it's just like, why would you do that? I mean, even if if you didn't understand about this stuff, why would you tell people to be unhealthy and do things that are knowingly unhealthy? Of course, that's going to give you a worse outcome. Of course, it's going to make your body less able to fight this thing off and to weather the chemo and radiation. So it's pretty appalling when you hear that. And so I really appreciate you coming out and telling your story so that people can look at that and go, hey, there is something I can do. They don't have this defeatist mentality from their doctors sometimes that probably has their best interests at heart, saying that, look, this is a really bad situation. Just enjoy your life. Have beer, have it. But people aren't asking, hey, does food matter? Because I really want to go and party. And that's what I want to do. That's not what they're asking. They're saying, does food matter? Can it affect my outcome? Can I help this get better? But, some people hear that and say, like, yeah, just go party, go to Ibiza and just go wild. It doesn't matter. It does matter. And so they hear that and they go, there's nothing I can do. This is hopeless. And so, I think you give a lot of people a lot of hope. And so I appreciate that.
Thanks, Dr. Chaffee. And I hope that person you were talking to is listening tonight, because I just want to say to them, the doctors kind of told me that too. Have a beer when you want to. Eat what you want. They told me all that right from the start, a few of them. So I didn't really listen to them. And Kerry man always says, you got to take things into your own 2 hands. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I'm curious, Jeff, if you could just briefly speak to not just the fact that you've added all of these months of life and all of this time with your family. And I can only imagine, I've seen your channel and the things you share, but could you just speak a little bit about not just longevity, but the quality of your life, what it's like to eat this way and what it means in terms of what you can do now that you most people in this situation, if they're here, can't do?
Yes, that's a very good question, Dr. Hampton. And I the word longevity, I actually was going to bring it onto Dr. Chaffee's podcast tomorrow morning. It's morning for me. I think it's going to be night for you, Dr. Chaffee. So I'm going to go to bed thinking about you, and I'm going to wake up thinking about you, and then we're going to be on. So the longevity thing, because I look at, and when you ask that, Dr. Hampton, I look at, like, not only, when I ventured into the carnivore diet for the purpose of healing me in terms of my disease, I started to really understand the benefits of living a life with longevity and purpose and meaning. So, and I started, even when I listen to people like Sean Baker or Anthony Chaffee, and they have they talk about their workout regimens or their and why they're doing it. From a scientific point of view, it makes a lot of sense, and why all the regimens that I'm doing, it's helped me. And this is going to sound really weird, but even though I do have stage 4 cancer and I'm terminally ill, I've said this before, I'm in the best shape of my life right now. And I feel like I'm a varsity soccer player. I was talking to someone last night that's playing like in adult league soccer, and I'm like, I'm trying to get in, and I don't think people are inviting me because I think they're like, oh, Jeff's dying of cancer. I don't know if I'm ready to play. Like, as long as my port on my chest doesn't get, even if it does get out of bed, they can fix it. You know what I mean? I want to get on the pitch. I'm looking forward to it. I've been coaching a lot, volunteering. I'm still loving it. I would love to go back to being a phys ed teacher. That's my passion. But I'm blessed right now with the life I'm living with my family. especially my two sons. I'm very, very blessed that I'm in their life. Like today, Peter came with me. And by the way, this morning, I had hyperbaric oxygen treatment out of town, actually close to Toronto, Canada. So it's about an hour away. So Peter wrote his last exam. He's in grade 10. He hung out with Dad today. And, we went for hyperbaric chamber treatment. Then we went out for a carnivore lunch. And then we did a few things. We're sneakerheads, so we went and looked at a few shoe shopping at the mall. And then we booted home. I was able to drive Peter to then soccer practice tonight, and that's where I was kind of communicating with Kerry and Adam, and I made it home on time to be on this channel. So in terms of that's my longevity, like that's my life. That's what I'm doing day to day, and I'm not stopping. And the carnivore diet has allowed my mind to be very clear and focused and scheduled and regimented and disciplined. And then in essence from that, and I think maybe Dr. Ede could probably expand on this, because my mind is now so strong and I'm basing it a lot on the carnivore diet, my body's starting to respond to it too. And my energy level's steady. I think I'm in and out of therapeutic ketosis and just normal ketosis. I'm not carb dependent at all, because I avoid that a lot as much as possible.
What really strikes me is your ability to be in the moment right now, enjoying your life in this moment. I mean, for all we know, you could live longer than I do. I just nobody's telling me how much longer I might live just because you know what I mean? It's you've decided to live now and to live your best life in the healthiest way possible, to be with your family and, to give them the best of you and to give yourself the best of you, regardless of, what other information might be coming in from doctors and whatever other treatments you may be requiring. I think it's just really a huge testament to your character. There are so many people who, if they were faced with a diagnosis like this, would just give up. And how, what you've done is you've turned your life into this beautiful. I mean, I just am really, really moved by your story, because it really does say something about who you are. Because there are so many people who would just take that diagnosis and give up. And how does that help anybody? How does that help your family? All of us want to be our best selves, regardless of our health status or how old we are or what diagnosis we may be living with. I mean, I think it's just amazing. And you can hear the wellness in your voice. That's the thing. I mean, most people who have a serious diagnosis, a medical diagnosis, you don't hear that joy, that just love of life and love of your family in your voice like this. It's just, you can feel it. And so you're doing something right that clearly from looking at all these comments here in the thread, is really moving to people. Is really you're giving of yourself to others, everything you have. And, I think that's going to be healing as well. I think it's really therapeutic, not just for everybody else, but for you too.
Thanks, Dr. Ede. Just listening to you, I tried to hold back there because you got me a little bit teary-eyed, and Kerry's seen it before, but I held back and you made me smile. Thank you, Dr. Ede, for recognizing that. I just, I see the world my eyes see the world as a different place now. And everything that, any stresses in the past, they don't affect me anymore. And I'm learning to just enjoy life and keep my cells healthy and calm. I'm trying my best every single day. So I think, and thank you for saying I sound and look pretty good. I think I feel good. I look good. I remember back when I first did my first video, and it was the 24-hour live event. And Dr. Chaffee, you gave me, you spoke to me at that live event after viewing my video I sent to Kerry, and you said there's going to be people out there in the world that are going to try to go at you still, and negative people, and I just got to try to block those people out. And you know what, at the beginning of me, you know, especially going off work, everybody was pretty empathetic, sympathetic, but now it's like, you know, we live in a horrible place sometimes where people, like human beings, it's human nature to judge. And, you know, I there's even people I hear, and I try not to keep it in my head too long. There's even people at my school that think I'm faking cancer because I've been told this, because I look so healthy, and I'm going, you know, I'm going on vacation with my family, and I'm doing push-ups, and I'm exercising, and I'm doing this. And this is the kind of thing that, when we're here to talk about, you know, depression, anxiety, and mindset, I remember what Chaffee said, and I forget about those people, and I don't care about those people, and I avoid those people, right? Because I don't need those people in my life right now. And they want me, those people, I don't know if they want this, but I feel like they think I should be weak. I should have no hair. I should be withering away, losing weight, not being able to get out of bed. I think that's the stigma they put on someone that has the disease I have. So, you know, Dr. Chaffee, I'll never forget that advice you gave me from the beginning. There's been the odd person on YouTube, my subscribers wanted, but Kerry said those people are probably like AIs. They're not even real people making comments, but mostly everybody has been. Not only am I helping a lot of people, I'm receiving tons of emails. Kerry knows it, like emails a day, messages a day, that I'm helping people with stage 4 cancer. Which that's why I made my YouTube channel, and but it's good for me. Then they give me comments about, you know, how inspirational I am and everything, and it's good for my mindset. So I try to surround my world with all those types of people to keep it going. And Dr. Ede, I sorry, Kerry, is it question time now?
Yeah.
I think I drive Kerry nuts because I take over his job.
No, you're doing good. Go for it.
Like Dr. Ede, I've been trying to really work on mindset, and JT was just on, and I think he speaks of a coach all the time. So I try to bring these coaches in my life. And I've been listening to Bob Proctor lately, and that happens to be JT's coach, and he was all very excited about that. And that was just by fluke. I've been seeing a Wim Hof instructor who's working on breathing with me, which it's all connected in terms of like your brain and your nerves. And we're working on my vagus nerve, the fight or flight response, you know, cold plunging and stuff like that. Can you speak to scientifically, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing in trying to keep my, you know, the vagus nerve connects from your brain, I believe, throughout your whole body, and trying to calm those cells. Is there any more I can do to add on to that?
Yeah. So what you're doing is, you know, the brain is listening. The brain doesn't just listen to food. It also listens to every other aspect of your environment. And you're doing all of these wonderful things to improve the quality of every aspect of your environment. So you've got good relationships, good people around you. You're blocking out the people, you know, ignoring the people that are, you know, not so positive in your life. You know, you are, in addition to feeding yourself really well, you're learning how to manage stress and learning how to calm your nervous system. And this is really important because stress also has an impact on brain chemistry and mood, and even on the structure of the brain. Too much stress can directly damage the brain. And so the food isn't the only piece of the puzzle, right? You need love, you need, you know, joy, you need, you know, good relationships, you need, you know, healthy, you know, good breathing techniques can reduce the neurotransmitters in your sympathetic system, which is the fight or flight system, keeping everything calm. And that way your brain won't be overreacting and, you know, trying to fight off inflammation and oxidative stress that can come from high stress hormones. So this is also really important. And so it's wonderful that you're working with a coach, because these things are hard to do when we're all by ourselves, alone in a room.
Yeah.
You know, we're social creatures, and we we learn from each other and we grow when we are connected to each other, and when we feel loved and supported by other people. So that I love that you're exposing yourself to positive influences and getting coaching and taking good care of every aspect of your health, not just your diet. And I think it's really wonderful. You just never know what's possible. All you can do is take care of yourself one day at a time and see how things unfold. And you're taking care of every aspect of your nervous system by doing all these different things.
Awesome, thanks, Dr. E. Do you have any patients of yours that you work with that have cancer? And is that part of their treatment to try to keep their mindset as strong as possible?
Yeah, I mean, right now, there are a couple of people that I'm working with who have cancer, but not, I would say not any advanced stages of cancer.
Sure.
So at least not right now, because my practice is constantly changing. The types of people that I'm working with are constantly changing. One of the nice things about this kind of work is that people actually get better, and then you see new people.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen very much in traditional psychiatry, but no, I have definitely worked with people with cancer over many years of my career. And right now I can think of a couple of people that I'm working with who have cancer. And I think that, this is the thing, that the whole body, not just thinking about the mind, but thinking about the whole body, the same principles apply in treating somebody who is living with cancer, people who are living without cancer. And think how many people may be living with cancer who don't know it. So you have this information, but there are a lot of people in the world who may have cancer and not know it, or may have some other kind of a serious illness and not be aware of it. And so no matter whether we have that information or not, taking good care of ourselves emotionally and physically, environmentally, with our relationships, and stress reduction, and avoiding substances and eating well, and all these other pieces are always important, no matter what is going on for us. So none of those other things we should take care of ourselves no matter what. And I think that the people that I'm working with who have cancer are people who are, of course, they're coming to me because they want a different way forward. So these are not your average people. These are people who are looking for a different way to live with the illnesses that they have been diagnosed with, and hoping that they're going to improve as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I overheard you earlier when I was in and out of this event talk about your secret weapon being carnivore when you have to get to it, the carnivore diet, which is super awesome. I love to hear that because I with the carnivore diet, I've been watching lots of videos about like how it's great for kids with autism, with kids with mental illnesses and stuff like that, and obviously great for me. Above and beyond the carnivore diet, you as a psychiatrist, do you ever prescribe any pills to help the mind that in terms would benefit the body, in terms of trickling down to what I'm doing with, like, is there anything that I should know of that may benefit on top of the carnivore diet? Natural pills, like I am a little bit part of my regimen is and I do live in Canada, so it's legal over here. Cannabis, THC, mostly CBD to get me into a deep sleep, because my friend Dr. Dwight, he tells me I need to make sure I'm resting and I'm sleeping well, in terms of really trying to heal that mitochondria, right? So mostly CBD. I have ventured in a little bit to THC if I really need to get to sleep. Do you ever, I don't know, like you're in the States, is that brought up a lot? I know Canada is a little more liberal, I guess, in that sense.
Well, a lot of these, cannabis products are legal in many states here, and I know that they are in Massachusetts. It's been for a number of years now. So when I worked on college campuses is when it started to become legal. to use medicinal medicinal products. I personally have never prescribed them or recommended them, just because the way that doesn't mean that they can be beneficial. I want to make that really clear. The reason why I don't is that I choose to focus on food. So I choose to focus on nutrition. So that's simply the focus of my work. And so it doesn't mean that they can't be useful. I just don't have the experience.
Gotcha.
So that's what I want to let you know. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I'm currently trying to do some research because Dwight has talked to me about it, and he's going to do more research about RSO. I'm not sure if Dr. Hampton or Dr. Chaffee has heard of RSO. I think it's Rick Simpson oil is what it stands for, to treat cancer. And Rick Simpson oil is extracted from THC. So I'm trying to do more research on that one. I always try to pick the experts' brains as much as possible. I know, like Dr. Hampton, especially your presentation with me and Kerry, it was amazing because you had a list of things, and I've picked and chosen a few things, including like a parasite a pill that I just actually started taking this week. So sorry, Dr. Ede, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. I just wanted to.
Oh, no, not at all. You can ask me anything, and I just
sounds good.
have the experience to share. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks.
Real quick, Kerry, we have a bunch of super chats that we're probably going to have to get to. So are we
Speed
ready
round?
for Q&A? Yep.
Sure.
Cut me
All
off.
And Jeff, you're welcome to stay on if you want to. I know you're the last individual.
I'll stay on. Sounds
Okay,
good.
cool.
Thanks.
We'll try to go through these pretty quick because there's a whole bunch of them. Really appreciate everyone who's watching, by the way. Dr. Ede's book, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. There's a link in the description below. There's a link for everyone that's on the screen right now, including Jeff's channel. So make sure to go subscribe and check all of them out. The first one we have here, Annabelle, the Happy Carnivore. Carnivore switched off atypical anorexia in 2 days. That's amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
Sandra McDougall, $15 super sticker. Thank you so much. Any super chats we get go 100% towards our documentary, so we really appreciate that. $2 from Southern Joe's. How much fiber is essential?
That much.
That's a good one. Speed round, like it. A bit wrecked, $10. How effective are these dietary interventions on personality disorders?
They can be helpful. They're I think, along with certain types of psychotherapy, they can be very helpful, especially in the reactivity that can happen with certain types of personality disorders. Absolutely. It can be very stabilizing from within.
Thank you. Anthony, $50. Thank you so much. Nura Jimenez, question for these awesome doctors. Is it okay that I downgrade to ketovore at times, but definitely no junk or seed oils, just sometimes with seasoning on my meat, coffee, butter, whipping cream, MCT8? Thank you for what you do. At least keto, not Cheeto.
Well, look, it's obviously better than the alternative, but it's, you'll see in yourself, if you try adding something in and you see it affecting your health, you just be aware of that. And if that's okay for you at that time and that fits your lifestyle, then that's great. You always have that baseline to go back to. You can always go back to just pure carnivore. I choose to live there because I just like feeling my best all the time. I could add some spices in, and I don't have autoimmune issues. I don't have a lot of other issues that would require me to stick to only red meat and water, but I prefer to because I just feel better. But if that suits your lifestyle, it's totally up to you.
All right. Super sticker, $14. Thank you so much. Cat A, $5. Thank you so much. Hey, it's Russ, Homesick Buckeye. $10. Shout out to my brothers and great prophets, Chaffee and Hampton. The Reverend sends his best and says you are behind on your ketogenic tithe. That's your good friend, Russ. Thank you, Homesick Buckeye, Russ. $2, Nancy Chandler. Thank you so much. $5, Nancy Chandler. Hey, guys, great podcast. May I ask if Dr. C is familiar with MDS and symptoms?
MDS. That sometimes the acronyms you don't always know. I don't know which MDS they may be talking about, though. Yeah, it could be myelodysplastic. Could be.
That's what Google says it is.
Yeah. No, I'm not too familiar with those, unfortunately. I just, but it'd be interesting. Some of these things we don't have obviously we don't have studies on just carnivore all the time, but they're coming. There's more getting out there, but there are a lot on ketogenic diets. There are thousands of studies on ketogenic diets. Carnivore is a ketogenic diet, so you can transfer some information from that. So if you look up that or any other issue and you look up ketogenic diets, see if they're done trials, many have been done, literally thousands at this point. And so if you see ketogenic diets or fasting mimicking diets or fasting improving any of these problems, a carnivore diet should help them as well for the same metabolic reasons.
Yep.
All right. Why is fiber so bad? It is not good for your gut, ?
We're not set up for it. We don't have the capacity to digest it and absorb it. In order to beef up the fiber content in processed foods like cookies and ice cream and things like that, and they say there's fiber. Why do you need fiber in ice cream? They put in sawdust. That's what fiber is. It's cellulose, and so they put sawdust in these items. Is sawdust an essential nutrient? An essential nutrient means if you don't have it, you will die. That's what essential means. And so I don't think you're going to die. In fact, I know you're not going to die if you don't have sawdust in your diet. We used to have a capacity to break down fiber. That used to be our cecum. It's now an appendix. In a gorilla, it's 4 feet long, and that's where fiber packs into, ferments, and breaks down into saturated fats and protein from the bacterial die-off. We don't have that capacity anymore. So if we had that capacity, then we could gain benefit from it. At the moment, we don't really get any benefit from it. There can be things that can cause harm. First and foremost, being that it can cause a barrier layer between your enzymes and the food that you're trying to digest, and then the broken down digested food and the lumen of your intestine to absorb it. So depending on who you look at, like Dr. Robert Lustig quotes in his book, Metabolical, that eating fiber with your meal can actually reduce absorption of nutrients by up to 30%. Now he's talking about this as a positive. If you're eating fruit, this reduces the fructose and sugar absorption. I look at it as a negative because I'm not eating anything harmful. If you're eating something harmful, reducing the absorption by 30%, probably a great idea. But if you're not, if you're just eating proper nutrients, then you want to absorb all those nutrients. So there's things like that, but the list goes on. There's even potential for causing microabrasions and actual physical damage to the lining of your gut as well. And there's studies looking at interventional trials, looking at people with symptomatic constipation, getting anal fissures and painful symptoms and gut symptoms. And they stratified by fiber. They had 4 groups. One kept the same amount of fiber, one increased fiber, one reduced fiber, one eliminated fiber. And it had sort of the exact opposite stratification that you would predict based on what we've been told for the last 40 years. People that stayed the same, obviously. People that increased the fiber actually got worse. People that reduced fiber got better. People that eliminated fiber, 100% of them resolved 100% of their symptoms. So this is not what we've been told it is. If you have some fiber and some fruit or some whatever every now and then, is it going to kill you? No. But do you need it? Definitely not.
All right. Thank you. Cat A, $20 super chat. Thank you. Sean Johnston, $10. Bella Brett, for you, I'm giving this to send good vibes for Jeff and F the fake cancer trolls. Thanks to you all for this great live. Love it.
Oh, thank you.
Homesick Buckeye, another one for Jeff. Shout out to my brother Jeff. Tell the haters your cancer may be fake, but when you knock them out, it'll be real.
Hey, Homesick Buckeye. You and I were in a box one time. Remember that? But I'm trying to follow. I'm trying to follow Bill Knott's theory of be kind. So thanks, Homesick Buckeye. But so I'm trying to live my life, be kind. And while I'm here on that topic, I just quick shout out to everybody listening. Kerry Man and JT, they posted 2 great videos today that my son and I watched. It was an hour and a half long. It was like Kerry. There was like a talk about being kind, knocking on people's door, wanting to cook them a dinner. I was blown away by it. So was my son. And I quickly. Everyone should watch it, because stop watching like The Bachelorette and Bachelor. I sent that to my wife and watch this episode with Kerry and JT. It was well done. Thank you, Kerry.
Appreciate it, Jeff. I'm looking forward to getting back up there filming you again and hitting some Canadian doors.
For sure. We have to say sorry. We have to say sorry a whole bunch of times before you.
Right? Eh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, Chaffee, you're a unit. My good man, never go vegan.
Never gonna happen.
Awesome.
You should dress
No
up as a
good.
vegan for Halloween.
Yeah, that's right. It was just pale and pasty and just like shriveled up and things like that. Just angry and yell at people. Yeah.
Wow, fast enough. $200. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you for the wonderful
Wow,
panel.
thanks.
What a wonderful evening of information and testimonies. This is a fantastic community. Thank you so much. Paula, $20 super chat. Has anyone seen a person with Graves' disease, hypothyroidism heal on the carnivore diet? I'm ready to go all in, but need to be sure this won't increase thyroid hormone levels and antibodies. Appreciate you all.
I've had a few patients with Graves, and yes, they have absolutely improved. I've yet to see an autoimmune issue not at least respond very favorably to a carnivore diet. I find that it's best when there's just red meat and water. Sometimes they can even respond negatively to certainly dairy, eggs, but even chicken and pork. And so for best results, I would definitely try just the red meat and water. For best results, if you're not getting as much results as you want, just grass-fed and finished seems to make a bit of a difference as well. But I think it's marginal compared to the rest, eliminating out the rest. Also, it's something that I've seen a lot of in the different carnivore forums, such as Zero Carb Health and Zeroing In on Health on Facebook. Those are two great ones because they've been around for years, like well over a decade, probably 15, nearly 20 years. I don't know how, maybe 15 years, call it 15 years or more. And they have an amazing database. You can just do searches in there for Graves' disease. You will see hundreds of people talking about it and talking about their experience on there. And I've seen so many people respond very favorably to that. So yeah, I've never seen it get worse. I've only seen it get better. And so I think this would be a very positive thing in your life. I don't know if other people have had experience with that as well.
Yeah, mine's been anecdotal, but I've had people get better. I agree. Nobody's gotten worse. And I just think that, but most of my patients may find that they still need treatment. But just like Dr. Gerogia Ede would say, when our goal is not to not take medicine if you need it, our goal is to heal you metabolically. And if we can reduce the medicine burden, that's better than they were before they started their journey. So that's been my overall experience.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a very important point too, because some people see amazing results with a carnivore diet, like with diabetes or autoimmunity. And so they go, great, I'm going to go carnivore. I'm just going to stop taking my meds. And then they have pretty bad results with that. And like, oh, why is my blood sugar 150? I was like, okay, well, well, are you on medication? Yeah, but I just stopped when I went carnivore. Can't do that. You need to stay on your medication. You have to keep going. Eventually, you might be able to reduce or even eliminate your medications, but you have to do it in a structured fashion. You have to do it when it's ready. And so keep taking your medications, keep using the treatments that your doctor has prescribed. But this is a very, very, very strong adjunct. And it could be that it ends up replacing the medications that you're on, or even eliminating the need for the medications. But it's going to be a transition, and you can't just drop off overnight.
And real quick, Dr. E, I remember when we did our podcast literally 2 years ago, and at the time I wasn't carnivore, and I told you, I said, guess what? You're going to talk me into carnivore. Well, you and Dr. Chip and the rest did it. So, but could you just briefly, I think you shared what percentage of patients tend to, get off medicines versus, improve. Could you just briefly tell, because I think people need to have a sense of what to expect.
Yeah. So, and I want to make it clear that these are people who have stuck with the dietary changes, right? Yes. So, and to be very honest, not everybody does. And I think that's important to point out. So, but when people are able to adhere to a much healthier diet or the ketogenic or carnivore diet, I see really good results. So I see people who have not yet started medications do not need to start medications. So they're able to avoid starting medications in the first place. And people who are taking multiple medications, even sometimes very high doses, some of those people are able to reduce either the number of medications they're taking or the dosage of the medications they're taking. And in some cases, people are able to wean completely off the medications they're taking. And I would say that most of the patients that I've worked with over the years are able to would fall into one of those categories. There are some people, I can't say exactly how many, I've never counted, but maybe if I had to guess, 10-ish% or so of patients who don't experience the ability to to reduce their medications. And so, but the good news is that even in those cases, even in the small percentage of people who still require, even with a healthy dietary plan, even though if they may require medication support, if they can't change anything about those medicines, it's still a really wonderful because these diets, the ketogenic and carnivore diets and similar types of diets that I use in my work, these diets help counteract the side effects of these medications. So it's a really nice combination. It can help the medications work better, and it can help them be better tolerated. So for example, if someone gains 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 pounds on an antipsychotic, and you add a ketogenic or carnivore diet to that medication, you can lose most or all of that weight that you otherwise would have been carrying around, indicating that your metabolic health was really suffering as a result of those medications. So even for people who either want to stay on their medicines or need to stay on medicines can get tremendous benefit from adding these healthy diets, these healthy metabolic and nutritional changes to their lives, to those medications, and to psychotherapy and other kinds of interventions. So it's not an either or. It's really, really, in fact, the study that we published about a year and a half ago, there were 31 patients who came into the hospital as volunteers with very serious chronic mental illnesses, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, severe major depression. They were all taking an average of 5 psychiatric medications, and then a very mildly whole foods, mildly ketogenic diet was added to that medication regimen, and every single person improved. Almost everybody lost a substantial amount of weight, despite the fact that they're taking these medicines in most cases that are causing a lot of weight gain. And 64% of them were able to leave the hospital on less psychiatric medication. So it doesn't have to be an either or. It can be a really nice synergistic kind of, the two interventions can coexist and work together. So I think, regardless of what your goal is with medicine, some of my patients don't want to go off their medicines because the medicines have been really helpful to them. And so they just want to feel better on their medicines and be healthier on their medicines. So I think that's a really important thing to remember too. It doesn't have to be all diet in some of these cases.
All right. Bella Brad, for you. Wow. $300. Thank you all for volunteering your time. It impacts more than you all know. Wow.
Goodness.
Thank you so much. So generous. Westfield 90, $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. Hey, Sandra, One Hope for All, $10. Prayers for you, Jeff. Wow. I think we got through the super chats. I got to shout this out again. Change your diet, change your mind. Dr. Gerogia Ede. Dr. Ede.
Yes, Kerry.
I'm so thankful you wrote this. I can't imagine the amount of work that went into this. All the sources, all the science. It's so engaging. My only criticism is I really wish you would have done it like 20 years ago when I really needed it the most. But I'm so thankful you did this. Could you just, while we wrap this up here, we're getting towards the end of the hour. Where does your passion come for this?
Well, so first of all, I didn't know a thing 20 years ago. I would have been completely useless to you. And I mean, passion really comes from, I mean, I went to medical school to become a doctor so I could help people, right? I
Mhm.
love helping people. My mom loves helping people. She's 90 years old. She still helps people to this day. She takes care of 2 developmentally disabled adults in her home full time. It's in my bones. It's just my favorite thing to do. I love answering questions. I love helping people, I love figuring things out. I love getting to the bottom of things. It's my favorite thing to do. So when I came across this problem that I didn't understand how to solve, I became really curious, and I just really wanted to dig in and see if I could get to the bottom of it. It never made sense to me. Things I learned in medical school and residency about psychiatry, I never really felt like I was really understanding what is going on in the brain. No one's telling me. And it was all very frustrating. And the principles that I was taught, they helped a little bit, but they don't help enough. So I was just really curious, to understand about nutrition. When I figured out my own, this crazy diet that solved so many of my problems, I really wanted to understand that. And then I wanted to help all the patients in my practice that weren't getting better. So I love practicing this way. I love thinking about these things. Even though the book was really hard to write and was a lot of work, I love that I was able to put all this information in to try to help people who don't know anything about these strategies. These are really powerful, as everybody here knows, really powerful therapies that you can do so much more with your diet than any medication. These help people in ways that no medication can. And most people don't know. And so that really made me driven to put the information all in one place, not just about mental health, not just about ketogenic diets, not just about meat, but not just about nutrition science. But if you put it all in one place, then people have one place they can go to and where all the dots are connected. Because right now we've got is a book about this aspect, a book about that aspect, a book that looks at this aspect of diet or this aspect of mental health or this aspect of nutrition science. If we put it all in one place, then people hopefully will be able to see how it all fits together, and then they can be empowered to make these changes. And within a few weeks, in most cases, people will feel better. And this is really, once you practice this way, it's really hard to go back to the other way of practicing. I mean, it's a partnership, it's cooperative. It's not me telling somebody what to do and I have all the knowledge. It's me working with you to, get you curious, and then you show me what's possible and you discover what's possible for yourself. And then I learn from you. So much of what's in this book, I learned from my patients. I think this is really important to say, believe your patients and listen to what they tell you and trust them and have faith that they can do difficult things. We can't write people off and say, oh, that's going to be too hard for them. They get to decide what's too hard for them, not us, right? And so many doctors think, I could never ask my patient to give up. Well, that's up to them. Ask them if they think that it's worth doing. People are a lot stronger than we give them credit for. And if we give them the right information, the people who want to do it will do it. And I know most people aren't going to change their diet. It's hard to do. A lot of people don't want to do it. But there are people out there right now who think they're doing everything right. They really do care. And they're trying all these dietary interventions that they've heard about that don't work. And they actually do care, and they will do. If they have better information, they will get better results. And so for all of those people, that's what this information is here for. And that's what gets me up every morning is making sure more people know about this, just in case they want to try it. So have those options, have real options that actually are worth trying.
Awesome. I love that. So one last question before we possibly wrap up. This is a question for the panel. So we've talked about how diet can improve your mental health, but for those that are listening, what are some action steps that someone can take to improve their mental health right now?
I'll just start by saying, my brain is all about looking at the big picture And one of the messages I wanted to share tonight was this idea of this is a soup, right? So one of the things that the Dr. Ornish study was criticized for when he talked about, plaque regression and things like that, is that they didn't factor in, we did meditation. We reduced stress. We make sure they had enough sleep. They exercise. Is it the plants or is it those other things? And I just think when people are thinking about ways to live longer and be healthy, I need you to think about all the things you can do, as is what Jeff is trying to do. He's like, hey, what else can I do? Because carnivore is not enough. We need to do all of these things. So I feel like my marriage is so much better because I have a therapist to talk to. And I just feel like I need to talk to somebody. She needs to talk to somebody. I need to talk to somebody. I think that medicines work for people sometimes. So it's okay. And if you're going to bridge it out of your life, you better bridge it. Take your time and ease it out. And then there's other modalities for mental health. Cognitive behavioral therapy, that stuff works for some people. They have EMDR and all kinds of things. So when you think about healing, I want you to be like Jeff. I want you to think about all the various ways you can heal. And because you won't even know it's going to help you if you've never tried it. I mean, I was a plant-based guy for years. Then I went low carb, keto, and carnivore. And if it was not for experimentation, I would have never landed here. And I think this is the right place for me to land. But I'm also trying to continuously improve. So my message to everybody, what are you not doing well in life? And what can you now then focus on for 2024? And then when you finish 2024 and you've mastered that one thing, rather sleep, stress, whatever, what else can you work on? And if you heal your body that way, then it'll be much easier if you face cancer to deal with it. It'll be much easier. So I want you to not think of one thing. Think of all the things you can do. And if you do that, I think that your mental health will be where it needs to be.
Amen to that.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Dr. Ede, can you answer that? What could be some possible action steps that somebody can take right now to help improve their mental health?
Yeah, so I think the first thing, especially if you're starting from a regular diet, is just to switch your diet to whole foods and get all of the processed and factory made ingredients and foods out of your diet as the very first step. And that's not easy to do. It takes some practice, but that alone can make a big difference. And that is something all of us should do, regardless of whether we feel healthy mentally and physically right now, because that's going to reduce your risk long term for all kinds of problems. So step one is always take the junk out. And then once you get good at that, you can make some next steps. There are lots of steps you can take towards a healthier diet. And I really think the other piece of the puzzle is just stay open-minded, stay curious, stay positive. Get yourself tested for insulin resistance and nutrient deficiencies. I show you how to do this in the book. Figure out where you're at right now, and then chart your course. Where do you want to be? So where are you at now? Where do you want to be? And that way you grab that wheel and you take control of that car and you decide where you're going to go. I mean, I can tell you what I'd like you to do, but it doesn't matter. You get to decide where you go and how you get there. And so we're just giving you, all of us here, we're giving you a map, but you get to decide not only where you go, but how fast you go. And when you want to leave. So I think that, remember, you're in control of this. Health is not about doctors telling you what to do. We give you information. We're advisors, we're counselors, and we're partners in your health, but you are the one in control of this. And that's what makes it so hard, but that's what makes it so great. Because if you get better, you're going to feel so proud of yourself. You're going to know that you did that. And nobody can do this for you. So, if you think you've tried everything already, hope is on the menu. That's what I like to say. Hope is on the menu. You think you've tried everything, you're wrong. There's so much more you can do if you stay open-minded and curious and positive, and just take an experiment, take a discovery approach, a curiosity approach to it. Keep your mind open.
Yeah.
I love that.
I probably don't have anything to add to that, really. I mean, I agree wholeheartedly with with both of those statements. I think it's very important just to cut out the garbage, first and foremost, and to just have the mindset, like Dr. Ede said, of understanding that there are things that can help. It's not hopeless. You're not lost. It's not just like, well, it's just these medications, and if they don't work, then they don't work, and you're sunk. That's not true. There are things that help. There are things that have helped a lot of people. So be hopeful. And maybe it's not something that you can do in effect, but at least it's out there. And I think a lot of people, once they see that and they understand that, and they go like, okay, I want that. Just like, we've had people say, tonight, it's just like, hey, I saw Kerry and I wanted that. I wanted that energy. So I went for it. Sometimes it just takes that bit of an impression for people to really get it and take it seriously. Sometimes it's like, well, that can't possibly be. Whereas if they saw the contrast and they saw like how much this could help them, I mean, they'd just be running after it. And if I knew how good I could feel by eating this way, there's no chance I would ever have eaten any other way in my entire life. But I just didn't know about it. I didn't know about it until I experienced it. And now people are learning about it because people are talking about their experiences and they say, okay, I want that. So just understanding that there are things out there, and like we say, take a sky view on this. There's a lot of things. Diet is such an important part, but there are other things that are important too. Trying to reduce stress, getting better sleep, doing the cold plunges, getting outside, making sure that your family connections and friend ties are important, because we're social creatures. This is important for our mental health and our sanity, to have these social bonds with other people, and animals for that matter. And at the end of the day, we work for you. Doctors work for you, and you are the boss. You go in there because you need help, and you're asking. Somebody's coming to fix your deck. You say, how are you going to fix my deck? Oh, I fix it like this. Well, I don't really want it like this. Well, you're gonna damn well get it like this. That's not how that works. So you don't need to listen to advice from doctors that doesn't fit well with you. You can get second opinions. You can try things out for yourself. We are there to advise. We're there to give you our best advice and our learned opinion and our educated experience. But you're the one who has to affect this. And it's a really bad idea to give the decision-making responsibilities to people who pay no price for being wrong. You're gonna be the ones suffering the consequences if this goes pear-shaped. So you need to be really confident and really happy with how this goes, and that I think helps with the doctor-patient relationship as well. If someone is really bought into the program, compliance goes through the roof. If the patient is like, this is what I want to do this with you, great, let's do it together. You're going to be much more likely to succeed in that as well. So always remember that this is about your life, this is about your health, and don't lose sight of that.
All right. Hey, we got one last super chat. Best few hours I spent in a long time. Thank you, good people. Jeff, you inspire me. Keep on keeping on, my man.
Nice.
Jeff inspires a lot of people. All right. Well, Dr. Ede, thank you so much. Again, I encourage everyone, change your diet, change your mind. I hope you're proud of yourself, Dr. Ede. This had to be an incredible amount of work, and there's so many hopeless people in the world that I know this is going to help them. It's such a powerful thing. So thank you so much.
If it helps, that'll make me so happy. Thank you very much. It was really, really kind of you to invite me on this evening and to be with all of you. Thank you. And thank you, Jeff, and everybody else who shared your incredible stories. I'm leaving feeling even more inspired.
Yes. And thank you, Dr. Chaffee. Thank you, Dr. Hampton. You guys are amazing. I have links in the description below for all of these channels. Jeff too, Adam, Carnivore Today. Shout out Lynn, Midlife Carnivore. She's helping us with all the super chats in the background. So yes. Thank you all so much. Does anyone else want to add anything before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I just want to just a bit of a shameless plug. I'll be putting my interview with Dr. Ede up on my channel this Sunday in the US, Monday morning in Australia. So if people want to come see that, I welcome you. I always do premieres, so I always do it sort of live, and everyone's welcome to join and sort of chat live in the text and as we watch. So if people want to see more of the good doctor, that will be this Sunday coming.
Awesome.
And one more thing, guys. I was just looking at Amazon. It's the #1 keto book on Amazon. #1.
Nice.
So congratulations, Doc.
Awesome.
Thanks to all of you. I'm sure that's because of all of you. Thank you.
I just want to say thanks. And it's been a pleasure meeting you, Dr. Ede. And Dr. Hampton and Dr. Chaffee, thank you so much. Dr. Chaffee, I'll see you in like 7 or 8 hours. And I'll be wearing my black Adidas hat.
Yeah, nice.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.